This is a comment on our last live stream from last week. And it says, hi, divorce court that says not needed to be present. Do I have to attend? I had 2 court hearings the same day. The court clerk said no need to change because there was a no-show necessary. Is this correct? Any idea what she's saying here?
This one kind of scares me because I'm not really quite sure what she's saying. And if I tell her she doesn't need to show up in court, that could certainly come back and bite her. I don't know. I mean, sometimes the judge will say to me or my client, there's no need to be personally present, and allows them to be present on Microsoft Teams out of San Diego. And that's still a very common practice. So maybe that's what the judge meant, which would still require an appearance just over the Microsoft Teams interface. So I don't know if that was it. God, I mean, I have a real hard time telling people not to show up for court without knowing exactly what was going on. It certainly wouldn't hurt to talk to the clerk about what's in the minute orders on these 2 things. And she says she has 2 court hearings the same day. I'm not sure if they're in the same department or if they're in different courthouses in different locations. If they're in the same department, I would just say show up for both of them. You're not going to get in trouble for showing up. And if they allow you to appear either telephonically or through Microsoft Teams, you can do that as well. I always tell people if they have the ability to show up in person. Sometimes the Microsoft Teams interface is not perfect, and it makes it easier for the court to have you present in court to be able to hear you and understand what you're trying to say. That being said, if you're located in Florida and the court case is located in San Diego, you probably don't have a choice. Or, even if you do, it may just be too expensive to fly out to San Diego to appear for one hearing. So I don't know. It kind of scares me to tell somebody not to show up for court.
Well, I wonder if the hearings were taken off calendar and the clerk says don't show up because you don't actually have a court hearing anymore because it was taken off calendar. Or perhaps like you could see it as a situation where let's say she's the respondent in a restraining order where someone had requested a restraining order against her, that she be restrained, and then the person doesn't show up at the hearing, the petitioner doesn't show up.
When I read this, it said divorce court says not needed to be present. I was assuming that was the judge because I get the judge telling me all the time, saying I can appear telephonically or via Microsoft Teams. Mm-hmm. I think you might be right. It might have been the clerk that told her that. In which case, go back down and talk to the clerk and get some clarity. If it's off calendar, then certainly you don't need to attend. Now, the other thing that could happen is, the judge may set a case management conference to make sure that a judgment has been entered. And if the judgment gets entered, then you don't need to be present because the matter gets taken off calendar, like you just suggested, in which case, you can find out before the hearing and confirm that it was in fact taken off calendar. If it's off calendar, you don't need to be present. But if it is still on calendar, I would try to be present in one way or another.